Hello students, I am your SST teacher and today we are going to start our topic number 1, the Constitution of India. First of all, let me clear what is the Constitution. A Constitution is a set of rules that guides how a country, a state or any other political organization works. Just as school needs certain rules to function well, we also have some rules in school that we should not talk while teacher is teaching. In the same manner, a country also needs certain rules which are called laws. The Constitution of India is the supreme law of India. It is a document that contains the procedure, powers and duties of government. It also sets out fundamental rights. Like along with the laws, there are also some fundamental rights which the government is giving us, which as a citizen of India we can enjoy. And along with the rights, obviously we are also having some duties also. Towards our country we are having some duties which we have to do for the betterment of the country. Our constitution is the longest constitution of the world. Now let us discuss the making of the constitution, how the constitution and when the Constitution of India was made. Just before independence from British rule in 1946, a special assembly was constituted which was called Constituent Assembly. That means a Constituent Assembly is the assembly of some members which were from the different fields, like they were from the field different lawyers, engineers, doctors, businessmen, farmers, teacher and many other were the part of the Constituent Assembly. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman of the drafting committee, and because of that he is known as because of his work for the drafting of the constitution, he is known as the father of Indian Constitution. So let me clear here, who is the father of our nation? Mahatma Gandhi. Like that, the father of our Indian Constitution is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. It took nearly 3 years to complete the Indian Constitution. It is so long, so lengthy that it took the Constituent Assembly 3 years to complete the Indian Constitution, because it is like a book. So like in our book we are having the index, lesson number 1, lesson number 2, same in our Indian Constitution we are having some important parts. Like in your book you are having lesson number 1, what is in lesson number 1, lesson number 2, we are having an index in the book na? Like that we are having different parts in our Indian Constitution. It is like a book and it is having the important parts. The first part is the preamble, second one is the directive principles, third one is fundamental rights, and the fourth one is fundamental duties. Now I will explain you each one of it in brief. First of all, we will discuss about the preamble to the Indian Constitution. The word preamble means an introduction of anything. It is a brief introductory statement that sets out guidelines which guides the people of India. And who are the people of India? We are the citizens, we are the people of India. In our country, it is written in our preamble, it is written, the complete preamble is, we the people of India have solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political liberty of thought, expressions, belief, faith and worship, equality of the status and of opportunity, and to promote among them fraternity, ensuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. This is all that is written in our preamble. In the introduction of the Constitution of India, these words are written. In our Constituent Assembly, on 26th day of November 1949, they adopted and enacted and gave to ourselves this Constitution. The next part that we are going to discuss is the directive principles of state to make sure that the ideas of the preamble are put into practice. The Constitution has guidelines or instructions to help governments. These are called directive principles of state policy. As we learned in our preamble that the country should be sovereign, it should be socialist. Socialist means that everybody should be equal before law, justice should be given properly. So in order to check whether the guidelines are followed, there are some directive principles of state policies. These are only guidelines, these are not the laws. I just want to clear, directive principles of state policy are not laws, they are just the guidelines that how we have to live in the society, what guidelines should we follow. They help government to decide what their policies should be. For example, we are having some directive principles like there should be equal pay for equal work for men and women. That if men and women, like your mother and father, are working in any office, like I'm just giving an example, if they are doing the equal work, then their salary, the money that the company or any factory in which they are any office in which they are working, the money should be equal. It should not be like it should be less for the women and more for women man, or more for women and less than men. No, if they are doing equal work, the money, the salary should be equal. The next one is help should be given to people who are old. This is our also our moral value that we should always help the old, sick, disabled or unemployed or in any other serious need. The third directive principle is help should be given to the weaker and backward section of our society so that they may improve educationally and economically. Like we should always give the help to the people who are not able to get some that who are not able to avail some facilities. We should also come forward to help them out. Okay, next is nutrition and public health for Indian citizens should be improved. As India is a vast country, and there are so many people who are not able to get the proper food, due to which they are not healthy. So it is also a directive principle that the nutrition and the public health of every Indian citizen should be improved. Next point is the environment, protest and wildlife of the country should be protected and improved. Like today we are cutting the trees, and due to which our environment is very much suffering. So it is also written in the directive principles that we should work for the environment and the forest so that we can protect the forest for the betterment of our future, and we should also protect and improve. We should grow more and more trees. Okay, then is monuments, places and objects of historic and artistic interest should be protected. For example, monuments like Taj Mahal is there, and very Red Fort in Delhi. So we should always try to protect them because they are very precious and they are having some historic things in it. They are historically very important for us, and we should always protect them. The next the next part that we are going to discuss is fundamental rights. First of all, we should know what are the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are essential. Essential means important rights that people must have in a democracy. Democracy is when we choose our government ourselves. Like the democracy is the government of the people, for the people, by the people. Like you must have seen in the recent elections that how we elected our government. So the fundamental rights in our constitution, fundamental rights are also given us, so to enjoy our rights. Constitution of India guaranteed some fundamental rights to the citizens of the India. Citizens are we people who are living in India. So we are having 6 fundamental rights. Constitution has given us 6 fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are essential rights. The first one is right to equality, right to freedom. Right to equality is we all are equal. Nobody is rich or poor before the law. Nobody is boy or girl before the law. No, we all are equal. Right to freedom, right against exploitation. Nobody could exploit us. Right to freedom of religion. We can adopt any religion. All of you must know the religion: Hindu, Muslim, Sikh and all. We can opt any religion. Cultural and educational rights, we all are having the educational rights. Right to constitutional remedy. If someday we feel that there is something wrong, not good in our constitution, it provides legal remedies for the protection of our fundamental rights. The right allows citizens to go to court if any of the other fundamental rights are being disregarded or taken away in any manner. Remedy means a way to improve a difficult situation. Next, along with the fundamental rights, the government, as the constitution has given us some fundamental rights that is good for our dignity, they have also allotted us means we the citizens of India, they have also allotted us some fundamental duties. Fundamental duties are the duties of Indian citizen towards their country. We all want to do something for our country. Yes. Okay. So in our constitution it is mentioned that there are some fundamental duties which every Indian citizen has to follow towards the betterment of the country, and some of them are to protect the constitution, the national flag and the national anthem. Okay. To promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India. We should also promote harmony. Harmony means happiness, good things among our society. To safeguard public property and to avoid violence. We should always say safeguard means we should also save the public property, the property that belongs to the government, and we should always avoid violence. To value and preserve the rich heritage of our entire culture. To protect and improve the national environments including forests, lakes, rivers and wildlife. We should not cut the trees. We should protect our lakes. We should help the government to keep them clean, and rivers clean, and wildlife also. If we will preserve or improve our forest, the wildlife will be safe, the animals will feel safe. To value and preserve the rich heritage of our culture, as we are having so many different cultures in our country. So we should always value each and every culture, and uh, and we should also preserve it. Okay, the next uh, thing that is in our in our constitution is the amendment. Now, first of all, let me clear what are the amendments. Constitutional amendment is a modification of constitution of a nation or a state. We can modify our constitution. We can modify means, if we find, if our government, if the most of the people of India find that there are some things which need a change in the constitution, then we can with the approval of parliament and all, we can amend it, we can modify it. Till now there are 122 amendment bills and 101 amendment acts to the Constitution of India since it was first enacted in 1950. This means that we are this much amendments we have done in our constitution. This complete our chapter, the Constitution of India. If you still have some doubts, you can ask me anytime. Thank you.